It was 1998. It was your grandpa's birthday.
Okay.
1998. And we rode together, to work. So we hopped in the car and we went across this bridge every day, McKinley Bridge, and it was so bad and falling apart, and but the bridge was just in terrible shape. And there were holes where you could look down and see the river. I mean, seriously.
What?
Yeah, that was how bad it was. But that was the only way to get there. So
the bridge was over the river? Not over a street?
No, over the river.
Oh, okay.
Over the Mississippi River. So most of the bridge was over the water. And the bridge had like a metal grid, concrete metal grid. So we're crossing the bridge, and all I just remember your grandpa saying, "Oh shit."
Was he driving?
He was driving. And I had turned just a little bit and didn't even have enough time to turn my body over to look at him to say, what's wrong. And the next thing I knew, we hit the guardrail, and my head hit the passenger window and broke it. Just completely broke it out. I have a very hard head, obviously.
Good.
And then we rolled on our side. So we're scooting down. We're still moving. We're scooting.
But you're off the bridge now?
No, we're still on the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Thank God we're still on the bridge. And we're sliding down the bridge on our side. Mm-hmm. So I'm hanging, and it's on my side. And I'm hanging here with the bridge right here.
Like the concrete?
The concrete passing my face, like 6 inches away. And, yeah. So then we rolled over again onto the top of the car, or the truck. So we're skidding down the deck of the bridge on the roof of our little Chevy S10 truck, upside down.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was we're going to fall off the bridge and end up dying in the river. And that has always been my biggest fear because when your grandpa Harris used to take us boating and we had to go home late at night, we had to take the river road, and I was always afraid as a little kid that we were going to fall in the river. Well, here I am, an adult, worried that I'm going to fall in the Mississippi River. But thank goodness we didn't actually fall over the railing. But the noise of the metal roof and the metal on the bridge, it made a horrible sound. And then we stopped. We're hanging upside down, and I heard your grandpa say, "Are you okay?" And I was all pissed off. And I was, "Yes, I'm fine."
Were you mad at him?
No, I wasn't mad at him. I was just pissed off. I don't know. I really was. I was just mad.
Wait, how did it... Did someone T-bone you?
The guy had T-boned us. He lost control of his car on the other side and T-boned us. And your grandpa unlocked, and he crawled out. And I saw I'm hanging upside down, keep in mind. I see two people peering down into the window to see if I was okay. But I couldn't get my seatbelt off. It wouldn't unbuckle. I guess there was too much pressure on it. Whatever it was, it wouldn't release. And he was afraid that it was going to catch on fire, and so they wanted to get me out real quick. And I struggled a few more times, and finally I pushed it just right, and I fell to the ground or to the roof of the truck. I don't know how you would say that. But anyway, I fell out of my seatbelt. And they're trying to grab me and help me, and I'm like, "No, leave me alone, leave me alone." All I wanted to do was, I blew them all off. All I wanted to do was kiss the bridge.
This story about the car crash fits into the heroic quest structure. My grandma departs from her house with my grandpa in order to get to work. She experiences trials and tribulations, such as getting hit by another car and getting stuck upside down inside the car on a bridge. When she has returned to everyday life, her views about car accidents and car safety have been transformed, and she is passing these views down to the listener when she tells this story. This story also shows unstandardized multiple variation because each time she tells the story, the length, details, and performance technique changes based on who she is talking to. In this version of her story, she offers insight on the thoughts, fears, and emotions that are going through her head during the event. This allows the listener to relate to the story and understand the lesson that it is trying to teach. This next story is about her experience with a tornado that hit the small town of Marion, Illinois in 1982.
Both boys played baseball, and it took almost all of our spare time. We both had full-time jobs, and both the boys were playing their first year of baseball in Marion, Illinois. And on May 29th, they were scheduled to have their baseball pictures taken at the city park. So we spent 2 hours doing that, and then on our way home, we heard on the radio that there was a tornado spotted in Carbondale, which is about 25 miles away. So, yeah, you don't think too much about it because it was a beautiful day. It wasn't raining or, nothing. It looked great. So we stopped at this little grocery store in Marion before we headed back to the house. And then once we got home, everybody's getting all settled in, and I looked out the back sliding glass door, and I saw this cloud that was kind of hangy looking, just hanging down a little bit. Not like a real tornado, but just hanging just a little bit. But I said to your grandpa, "Is that a tornado?" And he said, "No." And we watched it for just a couple more minutes, and you could actually see it form just down, really fast into a twister. And he said, "No, that's a tornado." Oh, thanks, honey. It was probably about 7 or 8 miles away. So still, it's getting closer, but we knew we had to take some kind of cover, but it wasn't something that was too immediate, I didn't think. But it got closer, and then I started to kind of panic. It's like, what am I going to do? I'd never had a house that didn't have a basement. Didn't have a basement.
Oh, no.
So Grandpa went outside on the deck in the back, and he's watching this tornado. And I'm in the house trying to figure out what to do with the kids and where they'd be the safest. So I first took them out to the garage. What? Why? I don't know. What was I thinking? Really, I don't know. I was just panicky because I'd never lived in a house without a basement. So anyway, I had the radio with me, and once I got the boys all settled in, there was these little steps coming out of the kitchen, and we were all kind of hiding behind these little steps, and the guy on the radio said, "Whatever you do, do not take shelter in a garage." I went, "Oh my God." So, and he said, even if it's attached, we were in an attached garage. So I yanked the kids, poor little Chris, I think I yanked his little arm off. I yanked the kids back into the house, and it's a good thing we had some time to think about this because I didn't know what to do. I really didn't. I was like, "Les, what do I do? What do I do?" And he's just standing there looking at stuff, So once I got my bearings, I took the boys into an inside bathroom, and I put them in the bathtub, and I took a twin mattress, and I put this mattress over the top of them. And then I ran back outside, and I was trying to get Les to come in, to check on him. And I opened the door, and I looked at him, and his face was as white as a sheet. And I knew whatever it was that he's looking at, I didn't want to see it. So his eyes were real big, and his mouth was wide open. And I kept saying, "Come inside, come inside." And he said, "No, not yet." Well, the tornado is right there.
Why was he so scared?
Well, the tornado actually missed our house, but it came really close. It was like within, a block, maybe. Yeah. And after it missed our house, I found out it really hit the town of Marion really hard, and they had, several people that died there. But after it was all over with, I asked your grandpa what he was looking at, and as this tornado was passing by our house, and he looked up, he could actually see cars, full-size cars and full-size trucks inside that tornado swirling around. And he also saw two people, two human beings, just spread eagle circling within that tornado, going around and around. Two of them.
This story about the tornado could be considered not only a personal narrative, but also a version of a local legend. It is a personal narrative because it is told in first person and tells an experience that happened directly to my grandma. It can be a local legend as well because there were probably many sightings and stories about the people and cars seen inside the twister. The lack of verification and hard evidence is irrelevant because the popular belief throughout the town that this actually happened is enough to make it allegedly true. It reflects the fears and anxieties of natural disasters within the community as well as within my own family. Overall, this project has given me a better understanding of the concepts and examples that we have seen this semester.